Back when I was searching for a full-time job in my field of study as an international student, I applied to almost 480 jobs and never got a single interview from most of them. Well, eventually I did land a job, but it was only after I fixed these 5 mistakes in my resume. So in this video, I want to share those 5 mistakes in hopes you don't repeat them. And in case you already do them on your resume, you could fix them and thus improve your chances of getting hired. Let's get started. Mistake number 1, making my resume multiple pages long. Back in the day, I felt more is better. I included every internship, every co-op, every project that I worked on, every job I've held in my resume, making it almost 2 full pages long. The problem is that a recruiter or an employer only looks at a resume for only about 6 to 7 seconds on an average. And the reason my resume wasn't performing was because the employer or the recruiter was not able to get to the information they wanted to in those first 6 to 7 seconds. I simply had too much fluff in there. Unless you have more than 20 years of experience, a single page of resume should be more than enough to summarize and give a precise description of your work experience and achievements. So, unless you have more than 20 years of experience, shrink your resume down to 1 page and only include information that is impactful and is precise. Mistake number 2, putting education above your work experience. I'm not saying that education doesn't count or the prestigious degree you got from that high-ranked university in India doesn't matter. But when looking at your resume and seeing if you would be a good fit for a job and thinking about actual job performance, your past work experience does a way better job at conveying your value prop than your education. And the reason behind that is when you structure and summarize your past experience the right way, it helps the interviewer understand the job you performed and how well it could translate into the role you're applying for. Which brings us to our next mistake, failing to show meaningful impact. For this one, let's take a look at how I communicated what I did at my previous jobs. Optimizing performance across paid media channels while improving on KPIs to drive growth. Boring, overly complicated words to sound I'm the real deal and missing to explain the impact. Now let's look at how I restructured it and fixed the mistake. Improved conversion rate by 45%, decreased CPC by 60% through split A/B testing on Google Ads, leading to $100,000 in profitable revenue. It tells you what I did, how I did it, and the final impact it had on the business. Now put yourself in the shoes of the recruiter. Which summary or bullet point do you think gives you a better idea on what I did and the skills I used on my job? When writing summaries or bullet points on past work experience, an easy rule of thumb is to use the what, how, what approach. Use simple language to explain what you did, how you did it, and what impact it had on the business. Mistake number 4, failing to pay attention to details. While this may not be the biggest mistake that I did on my resume and probably didn't contribute as much to the results that I did see, but still I've seen hiring managers and recruiters not shortlist perfectly well-suited candidates just because they had a typo or a silly mistake in their resume. The thought that they had behind that was simply that if a candidate didn't pay attention to detail on their resume, they wouldn't pay attention to detail in their work. While it may be super rare, you still wouldn't want to come across a situation where you have all the skills, you have all the relevant work experience, but you're still not shortlisted because your resume is not on point or you had a silly typo in there. So make sure your grammar and punctuation is on point, you're using consistent date formatting, your text is properly cased, it's properly aligned, everything is just well structured. Mistake number 5, using the same resume for every job application. At this point, this advice has probably been beaten to death. It comes up in every job search, every resume tip video. But the reason for that is it's still super important. No one in 2024 should be applying to multiple jobs using the same resume. But that doesn't mean you have to write up a new resume for every job application. There are ways you can streamline the process, save some time, and still tailor your resume for every job that you apply for. Have 3 to 5 template resumes for different role types. If you're applying for marketing jobs, have 1 template for SEO based roles, 1 template for growth marketing based roles, 1 template for generic marketing based roles, and then use those templates and tailor them slightly to the company and the role you're applying for. This helps you save tons of time because you're not starting from scratch every time you apply for a job. Also use tools like Word Cloud Generator to pick up on themes and keywords from a job posting and then insert them in your resume to improve your chances. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you can learn from some of the mistakes that I did when I was in my job search phase as an international student. Don't repeat them, and if you do, you can fix them and thus improve your chances of landing a job. Thanks for watching. Share this video with a friend if you found it valuable, and I'll catch you in the next one.